Hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Zach. You don't like my accents? I really can't do a good Irish accent here, but you guys aren't here to hear my accents. You're here to talk ball, talk sports, and catch you up to date because this is how this always goes. We finish a show, and right after the show, news breaks. So what's today's show going to be about? Well, it's going to be partially about new Ravens head coach Jesse Minter officially is going to be the first Ravens head coach in the last 18 years. First time that they've made a change in 18 years. And it's a man that's had connections to the Baltimore Ravens after going elsewhere for the last 5 years, going back to college, going to the Chargers. He has made his way back to Baltimore, and that will be his home here for the foreseeable future. We'll get into that. We have two great guests joining us today to talk about Jesse Minter and a little bit more behind the scenes on what you should know, right? We tell you we get good guests. Well, for channel members, you already saw it. You already know who's stopping by. But Sean Merriman, longtime NFL vet, he's going to join us, friend of the show, friend of the program, at 3 p.m., and then this one's outside the box, but it's perfect because where did Jesse Minter go for a year in 2021 to become a defensive coordinator? Well, he went back to college, and specifically, he went to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt has just been on the rise, so we're going to have head coach Clark Lee from Vanderbilt join us at 3:20 to talk a little bit about the Commodores and talk about that relationship with Jesse Minter because Coach Lee started at Vandy in 2021, the 1 year Jesse Minter was there. And then, yes, we'll get into some baseball. Has moves happened? Not really since we've last spoken, but the question's kind of been thrown out, which is crazy to me, Zach. But is it a failure if the Orioles don't land a top frontline starter? Like, that's been thrown out to me for the offseason. Is it a failure of an offseason? Hey, I have some feelings on that. I think that's a little bit bold, but we will talk about it. And if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We are live usually from 3 to 5 p.m., but because of our guest today, we started a hair earlier. So if you're new, hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Appreciate you guys, and we'll put out the episode on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. That's my words. Zach, hey, buddy.
How's it going? Yeah, it's a new day, but we kind of missed the signs. I will say that because we were for so long looking for who the Ravens' next head coach was, and it got me thinking that I don't know if you know what's happening this weekend, Ryan, but it's supposed to be a pretty big storm, a lot of snow. In fact, it could accumulate over 14, 15 inches of snow. And it makes sense. It makes sense because the signs were there all along. Minter is coming.
Oh, there it is.
Minter is coming. Minter is here. On the weekend of the big snowstorm, Minter is officially here. It was all a part of the plan all along. What a fun day last night was. Fun night, I guess. It was really cool seeing so many former players, so many former coaches, colleagues, anyone that's come in contact with Jesse Minter. One, how ecstatic they were for him. You have one of the big things that the Ravens said they love about him is his connection with people, his ability to bring people together to really connect. And that was apparent after he was hired because everyone, I'll say this, Matt Skura, the former center for the Ravens, putting out tweets going, oh, you guys have no clue how great this hire is. The stuff he was doing against us on scout team, drawing up, unreal. People that were playing on the opposite side of the ball are giving him his flowers. Former Raven Tony Jefferson, maybe coming home.
Could be coming back.
Could be coming home
as well. Yeah.
Could be a homecoming. He was ecstatic. We saw guys like Eric Weddle, so many former coaches. I feel like this this was a hire that they nailed. They knocked it out of the park. Super excited. Now let's get to work. Let's build a coaching staff. And man, it's a new era in Baltimore. So Minter was coming, and now Minter is here.
You were just really excited for that one today, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And do you know what that reference is from? Like, if you're going to say Minter is coming, do you know what?
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Because you couldn't say it if you didn't know what it was.
I knew what it's from. I knew it.
Have you watched it?
So
no, the answer is no. The answer is no.
I've seen the first 5 episodes. Have you watched?
Yes, I've watched every episode of Game of Thrones. There's so much you have to go back to watch it because it's overwhelming.
That was my issue. Was I started watching it, and then the sheer mountain of episodes that I had to overcome. It was daunting. Daunting. I felt behind, which I am. So, like, we'll see. Maybe I have a throwback, and maybe I go just casually watch it all. I got to ask Ramey about that, because Ramey, I remember like 2 years ago, I think literally he was giving updates on Twitter during like a Christmas break or something. I think he knocked it out in a week and a half. It was crazy.
That is pretty insane when you think about it that way. It's a lot of episodes because they're an hour long.
Yeah, he was saying he was knocking back like 13 a day.
But you know what it shows to me, Zach? It's just commitment. You know, that's what we're about here. Staying committed at the Ryan Ripken Show, which we've been doing this live twice a week for the last 2+ years. September of 2023 is when we started the 2 consecutive weeks. Now, we did take a little bit of a break, a little hiatus, but when we weren't on that break for a schedule, because we were going Super Bowl to spring training and everything in between, but we went from 2 days a week consistently to 3 days a week consistently to here we are 5 days a week, and it's because of you guys. And we get to talk about these types of stories in the moment. So the quick reaction, you're right. I always like to look at the peers of the people that are being hired or what's happened, because that really gives you the best understanding of what you're getting. Because fans, you're going to have your emotions and feelings about all these hires. You always will. And hey, rightfully so. You should feel however you want to feel. But to give you more insight, it's the people that are in the building. What makes Jesse Minter such a great candidate? You know, so in looking at this, and that's why I'm excited to talk to Sean and excited to talk to Coach Lee, is because Jesse Minter clearly had success. Why was he so successful? Why was he so sought out? Because from the outside, I'm hearing he was a guy that's very attention to detail, very, very critical on helping in the X's and O's and trying to get the most out of some of your players to enhance their game, right? Remember, enhance the ones around, not just the star players. And there's an intensity and a level of intent that is gravitating, and the players play for him. They love him. That's the consensus around. You haven't heard someone come out and say, I got questions about him. It's been a slam dunk. And for everyone that said, man, the Ravens missed out on Mike Macdonald, well, everyone's saying, well, you might have the next Mike Macdonald right here. He could be better than what Mike Macdonald does. Now, I'm going to pump the brakes on that because Mike Macdonald's playing for the NFC Championship this weekend, and Jesse Minter has yet to coach an NFL game as a head coach, I should say. But there's a lot of positives and a lot of things to like here. And for the Ravens, Zach, they did their due diligence. They focused on it. And I know some people, and we had this discussion the other day with Cordell about, you know, Minter is a part of the Harbaugh tree. Well, guess who people talk about the greatness? And again, fans don't like the blown leads and what's happened. Harbaugh's tree is extensive. The people that have respect for Harbaugh, people don't want to give the credit. There is a huge list of those people. But it doesn't mean that Jesse Minter is going to be exactly like John Harbaugh. But I'll tell you what, Jesse Minter being groomed by 2 Harbaughs certainly helps him for this next step, because you know who it did help, and I just said his name. Certainly had an impact with Mike Macdonald, which, by the way, Zach, Mike Macdonald had mentorship from Jim and John Harbaugh throughout his way to being the head coach out there in Seattle.
Yeah, I talked about this last night on the breaking news stream. I do think it's funny, like you pointed out, that everyone's like, I don't want a Harbaugh. You saw him from the Harbaugh tree. One, it's not even, if we want to like really talk about it, it's not even the Harbaugh tree. There are two coaching trees in the NFL. It comes down to that. There are literally two sets of coaching trees. If you want, and they intertwined, they've officially intertwined, so it doesn't even matter anymore. You've got the Andy Reid tree, which is where Harbaugh came from. Then you have I'll call it the Shanahan / Kubiak tree, because Kubiak under Shanahan, and then Kubiak obviously went on sort of, all. So there's two trees to choose from. They've intertwined as well. Someone's going to have a connect. Like Mike McDonald is a Harbaugh coaching tree guy. Like we are all like, hey, man, we missed out on Mike Mack. I don't want a guy from the Harbaugh coaching tree. That's
crazy.
Yeah, like what are we doing there? I do think this was a fantastic hire. I love his background. If you want to talk about a guy who's as similar as Mike McDonald in his route to where he is, I mean, coached at Michigan under Harbaugh, under Jim, followed him to LA, had a fantastic defense, talked about yesterday. You want to talk about good defenses. In 2 playoff games, they've allowed 3 touchdowns. And they forced 5 turnovers. It's pretty good. Lamar Jackson led teams, because we always talk about, hey, yeah, the offense has fallen short at times, but the defense is a lot to blame for these playoff losses as well. In 8 games, playoff games that Lamar Jackson has played in, the defense has forced 2 turnovers. Set Lamar up for success. Get these guys humming. And let's move from there.
The beauty of this, all of this, is you want to have a staff or someone that you believe can help you take the next step. That's your ultimate goal in general. When you hire someone, you want them to put their best foot forward, and then you want your team to take those steps to go out there and have success. And we've seen it. It's either been infrastructures and organization where they're just absolute horseshit, where you're behind the 8 ball because you have a struggling organization, and then they're expecting perfection. What I love with Jesse Minter coming in, you're with an organization that you don't have to worry about any of that. Jesse Minter has been groomed, and he has been seasoned. And by the way, he's proven to be able to adapt as games have gone on. He's learned a lot, and he's learned from a lot of great coaches. Gary Kubiak said the other day when we had him on here that him coming to Baltimore helped him when he went to be the head coach of the Broncos when they went to go win the Super Bowl. You learn a lot from great people. And for Jesse Minter, he's been around a lot of great people, and he himself has proven he is ready to lead. And also, he's proven that everyone loves this dude. He seems like a pretty good dude to me.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the peers thing that I was saying. Your peers are the best indicator of who you are. When I was playing, and I could have played better in my baseball career. If I was still playing well, if I'd played well, Zach, I'd still be playing, right? Like, that's the reality. But one thing I always took away was, how did my peers view me? That was really valuable to me. And above all, you better be so damn good at what you do as a coach or a player, where your success is so much up here that you can get away with maybe some of the other issues. There's back and forth on like Bill Belichick. Some people loved him, some people hated him. But Bill, they won. Can't argue winning. But it helps, man, when you have someone that your players will die playing for that dude. And I think that's what we have in Jesse Minter here. So,
and then real fast, I will say it is so nice being on this side of it, because Charger fans on Twitter are like sending Ravens fans like, hey, you got a good one, take care of him. Like stuff like that. And it's the exact same thing we Ravens fans did for Mike McDonald. And I'm like, it feels so much better to be on this side of it than, like, it feels good. It felt like a full circle moment of like, I remember being in the situation where our young up and coming star defensive coordinator went elsewhere, and we're like, hey, Seattle, take care of him. And now it's like, it's nice that Charger fans are like, hey, very reassuring. They're like, you got a good one. You got a good one. So it's been awesome to see. Like you said, you can also tell a lot by how fans react to losing a coach on kind of the guy you're getting.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Like, you can see it, you can sense it. But again, don't take our word for it. Don't take what the internet's words for it. We like to provide guests that have the insight, the knowledge, and just are pretty damn cool people. So, Sean, if you're ready to rock and roll, man, you let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up when you're good. Bam. Okay. Well, I don't even know how many times we've had Sean on, and I think I'm busy. No one's busier than this man because he's just creating everything everywhere. But by the way, he knows the game of football very well, and he's got a great connection out there with the Chargers. Let's bring on Lights Out himself, Sean Merriman. Sean.
What's up, brother?
What's up, dude? Hey, by the way, congrats on everything. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since you've been rolling. Lights Out's been rolling, man.
Yeah, man. We're making some moves. I got, some company stuff we got to fix on the back end. When you're growing like that, you got people that want to be involved necessarily shouldn't be there. But it's been great, man. You got ESPN, all Latin America for ESPN, and for us, that's big, man, because, MMA is such a global sport. But also at the same time, with UFC going over there to Paramount on their big deal, it says a lot about us, right? So yeah, man, I think, we've been making our way. But, yeah, man, it's been great.
You're I feel like you're the one that's always on the move, and I know you are hardworking, consistent. You're whooping ass. And also, Lights Out is kicking ass, man. I'm happy for you. This is kind of a great day to have you on as well, because I wanted to talk about Jesse Minter, but your boy Philip Rivers. The Schefter just tweeted. Do we have that tweet? There it is. That Schefter tweeted this out that Philip Rivers is interviewing today with the Buffalo Bills. Man, I mean, I thought he would get a chance to have an interview. I didn't think it would be after he came off the couch, so to speak, or off the coaching field. And, hey, I'm retiring, but I might get back in this thing. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, but, I think who, in my opinion, who really didn't see this coming, right? I mean, Phil's always been that. Even as a teammate, he was always a guy who you felt like was a coach in the locker room. This started back, during his playing days. And the only thing that happened, in my opinion, when he came back to play for the Colts, it put him back in people's face again to show how good he really was, right? And how motivated that he can make people around him, play more, play harder, believe in him. He gave those guys a legitimate shot. Could you imagine a 44-year-old quarterback coming in, just stepping in after being a high school coach and actually give your team a chance to win? That's just, if you look at it that way, it's just crazy to really even think about. But I'll take it a step further, man. This would be one of the best moves that I think the Buffalo Bills can make, and people just overlooking, his relationship he has with Josh Allen alone. That relationship, but Josh needed somebody with to come in with a relationship that he doesn't have to rebuild. The second part of this, look what he did to the team. Like when he was making plays for the Colts, look at the sidelines and the rest of the team and how they reacted to him. You got two things out of Philip: preparation and getting guys being able to play for you. That makes the rest. Half of the job is done. He's walking in the door with those two things. Everything else could be figured out. It's going to now come down to who would he hire as a staff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the part, Sean, where I look at it, because I'm with you. It wasn't a matter of if, Philip Rivers, if he wants to get back into the NFL to be a coach, it was a when. But typically, look, we know the cycle. It's guys are being groomed. Or they go through, if it's high school, okay, then it's high school to college or college to the NFL, and then they're working their way in. So seeing him get the head coaching opportunity, it's more rare, right now as far as the interview. But I'm with you. I mean, you either got it or you don't. Like, Philip's got that energy. I know we talked to stories about you and him going at it back in college, being teammates, the passion and his relationship with people. Like, that's the biggest part here when we talk about Jesse Minter, is the people. I got to ask you on a different note real quickly, though. We talked about what was the better job here initially, Buffalo, Baltimore. There was 2 press conferences by 2 ownerships recently, very different. Does that impact, you think, at all with any of these coaches after hearing that? Because I got to say, I hadn't heard anything like that, and I know the message wasn't necessary. Like, he wasn't I would like to believe it wasn't going, hey, hold on a second. Let me throw this coaching staff and this player who's on my roster under the bench here, or throw him off the bus. But it happened. I mean, does that impact in your mind any coach's decision here moving forward? Do you think that would be an issue?
No, not really. Because let me tell you, there's much worse owners behind closed doors, right? I mean, we seen one little slip up and him talk about a current player, and look at this. You're not going to be everybody's guy walking through the building. Mm-hmm. Like you just a head coach might like. I'll tell you this, Buddy. AJ Smith was the general manager for the Chargers there, and Buddy Nix, who was the general manager of the Bills, was the second in command with the Chargers. And Buddy Nix is the one who discovered me. Buddy Nix is the one who stood up at a meeting and said, hey, we need to look at taking Sean Merriman out of the University of Maryland. And then it was AJ Smith that pulled the trigger. But I initially, AJ didn't, he didn't find me. I wasn't put on the map by AJ Smith. It was really Buddy Nix. I didn't take offense to that.
Yeah.
I was happy that I was the 12th overall pick in the first round, going to the best city in the country. That's how I was looking at it. So you can look at it a lot of different ways. I just don't think that it was enough for a head coach saying, you know what, I don't want to go and coach or work for an owner that has a slip up during the press conference, because he was just being honest.
Yeah, it was. And I think I tell people, I love honesty. I love when people speak their minds. Sometimes, though, we can heel back some of the complete honesty. It can just be, it's a group decision. And sometimes, the wording, the verbiage could have been a little bit better. But you're right. There are circumstances that aren't out in the front where it is way worse elsewhere. And we know places, we're not going to name names. I think we probably could have some similar lists that we've heard some stories, and you probably have some stories. That's the nature of the beast. But let's go to the other side then. All right. Jesse Minter. Minter is coming. He's coming to Baltimore here. It felt like the reunion. I see a lot of the Chargers faithful. We're going, damn, man, you guys got a good one. From you spending time over there, being around the organization, give the people of Baltimore a little bit more insight of Jesse Minter and what person and style he's bringing to Baltimore.
There's nothing but love in that building for Jesse Minter. I mean, just you haven't heard one single bad thing, and I'm talking about from the top down, all the way down to the players. Not one single bad thing about Jesse, because he's a hell of a coach. And I'll take it a step further. I know Steve Bisciotti for a long time. He's his type of guy. He's this type of guy that he wanted in that building because of just what he brings to the table. He brings an attitude, and we know that attitude starts at the top and trickles down into the locker room and everywhere else. Jesse Minter is a Steve Bisciotti type of, hands-on with the players, aggressive style attitude, bring a defensive mindset back to that team. Because let's face it, yeah, Lamar Jackson is great, and he's he'll go down as one of the best to do it when he's done. But if you look historically at the Baltimore Ravens, what have they been known for? They've been known to hit you in the mouth, and anything else that they've done has kind of been a cherry on top. It hasn't been until recent that everything's been on Lamar Jackson's shoulders. But historically in that organization, it's been defenses that's made them who they are. And so, yeah, I can see why they pulled the trigger with Jesse, because it's a perfect fit. Like, there was nobody else on the market right now that they could have gotten that would have been a better pickup than Jesse.
I think that everything you're saying is accurate. I've been saying from the start here, the Ravens, what's the identity? Play like a Raven. They need to get back to that. They need to punch someone in the mouth. They need to dominate in the trenches. And, we had Dan Orlovsky on earlier a couple weeks ago, and he said that the quote of, when you played the Ravens, they put the fear of God in you on defense.
Yeah.
And that didn't have that feeling this year. They just didn't, for many reasons. So I'm right there with you. Zach was up here pumping up the roof here while you were just singing.
Sean, you're getting me fired up. When you were talking about that, you were getting me fired up over here. I'm so ready for the Jesse Minter era.
Yeah, hey, go ahead, though, Zach. I know you got a question.
Yeah, Sean, actually, speaking about a guy who, has now been in Baltimore and went over to L.A. midseason in Odafe Owe, Very clear. It felt like Jesse Minter, I'm not going to say unlocked something because we've seen Oweh put up 10 plus sacks in a season before, but 0 sacks coming into LA, finishes, if you include the playoff game, with 10.5. What at least did you maybe see from someone like him and how Jesse Minter is able to get the most out of players?
I played for Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips' philosophy was, whatever you're great at doing, you're going to do 80% of that, 80% of the time. Whatever you're not, it's going to be 20. So he knew that I didn't want to drop in coverage, cover running backs out the backfield, or carry a tight end down the seams. So I did that when we had to, but that's not what what the bread and butter was. And so we stuck to that. Jesse has the same type mentality. He put guys in a position to win. And, you know, I made a comment about what's the linebacker coach there, the Chargers, Zach Orr, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, I made a comment about I think he's going to make a really good defensive coordinator at some point as well. Mind you, he was mentored by Jesse as well, right? I think at some point he was getting mentored by Jesse. He doesn't call the defense. So, you know, so people are commenting under saying that, you know, he wouldn't make it. Look at the Ravens defense. Well, he's a linebacker coach, right?
Well, Orr was defensive coordinator this past 2 years.
What's that?
Zach Orr was defensive coordinator past year.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so he came out there, and they're saying that he look at this defense and look what they were doing. Yeah. You have to coach what you got available on the field, right?
Yeah.
But like case in point, the Chargers' 2 best offensive tackles went down for the year, and I think they're best 1 or 2 tackles in the league. Then you got Najee Harris that goes down for the season. Then you got Mario Hampton that goes down for several weeks. I don't care how great of a coach you are. That is hard to overcome. And so there were things going on with the Ravens that they were out of their control. I don't think it was necessarily Zach Orr's. You know, you got to cover things up when you don't have personnel there. You know, you look at that front line. I mean, who they got in their front line? You can say, you know what, he's a top this in the NFL, especially as a pass rusher.
The list is short right now. I mean, losing Matabike hurt significantly.
Right.
You know, Matabike's talk about a unit. That dude's a unit, and you're right. It's players. You can have the best coaches. Players are the ones that got to go out there and do the damn thing, right? That's how it is, and coaches will say that. But having the right infrastructure and being able to put your players in positions, that's the coaching part where you can elevate to the next level. That's what I saw out in LA this year, Sean, with Jesse. And I always like to see the star players to then the veteran players talking about him. Like Derwin James, to wrap this up, I heard Derwin saying, man, I love this guy, the energy, what he brought. And Derwin's a hell of a player, and Derwin was better. Then there's some of the less highly touted names out there that are having success, and they're saying, man, Jesse's giving me the confidence. I think that's the other part of it, giving the players the confidence and putting them in the position to go play freely. So it's been fun to watch overall, Sean. So yeah, you know I'm going to be seeing you in like 10 days, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So because we got our next guest about to join us here. Can I ask you a favor then, like on Radio Row? Zach's been saying he's been trying to figure out a proper, fighting technique. So I think like this time, could you just maybe show him a move?
We're getting there. Yeah,
let me see what you got right now, though.
I'm getting higher. Before I was too low. Now we're protecting the face. We're protecting the face.
That sternum is wide open still. I don't know if that's gonna cut it. But look, we're gonna spend some time up there on Radio Row. We're gonna get that fixed.
Let's do it. There it is.
Hey, Sean, where anyone can find you and what you got going on here, at least until I see you in about 10 days.
Yeah, just follow me at Sean Merriman, and then we'll be announcing some fight dates hopefully soon.
Hell yeah, Sean. Well, hey, safe travels. Keep doing your thing, and I'll see you out there in San Fran first week of Feb.
You got it, brother. See you then.
I appreciate it. Sean Merriman, everybody.
Love Sean.
I can't wait for him to give a demonstration. You are going to get your ass kicked.
I didn't think about the hey, that's me. That's not knowing the fighting side. I didn't think about the sternum. I was protecting the moneymaker.
But this is why we try to learn. This is why we try to learn this situation.
That's what we do.
Keep expanding here. But if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live Monday through Friday. right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. But overall, you guys know we've had a great list of guests. Baseball, obviously, is something we've always going to have in our back pocket. But baseball season isn't here yet. You heard Jordan Westberg yesterday, all-star third baseman for the Orioles. We had Gary Kubiak, Super Bowl winning coach. We've had Tony Dungy, Super Bowl winning coach, Todd Monken, Mike Pedden. Who else have we? We've gotten a plethora of people.
Yeah.
So in this case, we like to go, behind the curtain. And I think that we're doing a good job of finding different backgrounds and understanding. In this case, there's going to be a first-time head coach in Baltimore and Jesse Minter. And that's an exciting time, and I can't wait for it. So when we're going through the Rolodex of okay, who would know Jesse? And who's also known a thing or two about creating a culture and helping to create a product that you can put a stamp of approval on. And Coach, if you're good at just give me a thumbs up, we'll rock and roll. Boom. Well, if you guys have been watching college football recently, especially if you took notice this year, you should have been taking notice for the last few years. There's a team in the SEC that has been on the rise, not just a little bit on the rise. They've been humming. So without further ado, Zach, let's bring on Vanderbilt head coach, Coach Clark Lee. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be with you guys.
Hey, I appreciate your time. And we just had Sean on. And look, I grew up in a baseball family, being from Baltimore, Ripken. Been around the game for a long time. My uncle played, my dad played. I played, got up to the minor league level, AAA. But there was always, for us, we had this welcome to professional sports or welcome to baseball, and the minor league stories are one of a kind. You've had a journey on your way to where you are now. Do you have a story maybe of welcome to the coaching world for you when you look back on this journey now that you're at Vandy?
Well, there's a lot, and I'm on year 21 now. So I guess that means I'm getting old. I'll tell you, when you're responsible for 18 to 22-year-olds, there's any myriad of things you can draw from where you're dealing with situations you never maybe thought you'd be in. When I took my first full-time job, it was at South Dakota State, and I was coming from UCLA. When I got there, at the time, South Dakota State was transitioning from Division II to FCS level, and I had a cubicle that was right in the middle of kind of a room of cubicles. And when I got to my desk, there was a trash bag on my desk, and I didn't know what it was. I opened it up. It had all these old South Dakota State, gear in it. And I asked, what is this? Of course, I was coming from UCLA, which is the kingdom of fake services. We got everything we need there. It was all the hand-me-downs from the coaches who I was taking his job. That was going to be the gear I was going to be using for my time there. So that was a welcome to coaching moment. We met in trailers that were on the field, like double wide trailers that are on the field. It was a beautiful thing. They have since updated that program to now where it's as nice as any. But those were the humble beginnings of my career. See,
that's the stuff I'm talking about. I'd say you've elevated since then, but it's the humble beginnings. I've told the story in Baltimore. Eric DaCosta, the GM, known his family for years. EDC was saying that, Ozzie Newsome, when Eric was, the intern, the beginning of his time as what he thought was going to be a front office executive, was working security, cleaning out the hotel rooms or the dorms of players they just released, and they trashed it. He said, Ozzie said, you're going to learn everything from soup to nuts. And then what's Eric now? He's the general manager of the Baltimore Ravens. But at what point he was just doing all the damn dirty work.
That's right.
Before we talk quickly about Jesse Minter, I got to tell you, one of my close friends went to Vandy, and I told him I was having you on. And I said, hey, I already know the answer, but can you just give me a thought on Coach Clark Lee? He goes, I freaking love that man. He goes, I'm through and through. We are back. Could you maybe just, for you, the culture that you tried to create at Vandy before we talk a little bit about Jesse Minter?
Yeah, this has been a slugfest here. I mean, we're a program that's never really learned how to care about itself, and that's there is no history here. I mean, it's been pretty sad for the last few decades, and there's been spurts of success, but nothing sustained. So getting in here it was first teaching the team how to care about what they're a part of, hiring a staff that can help lead people into that, and man, there are just challenges all over the place. Losing is like a plaque that forms, and you have to spend time breaking that plaque away to get people to see kind of the experience from a lens of something positive. But as we've turned the team over, as I've kind of corrected mistakes I made early in, whether it's staffing or just my approach, I've had to learn and grow on this job. I mean, nothing prepares you to be a head coach. You have to adjust and adapt as you move. We're really proud of where we've come, and this is a place. It has less to do with Vanderbilt to me. I know this is my alma mater. Nashville's my hometown, but this has really become about the people that are in this program, the people that stand shoulder to shoulder with me as we attempt to do something that no one really thought was possible. And we're part of the way there, but this will be a really important year for us to solidify identity and to try to, as we've lost a lot of production, to try to not take any kind of step back. But it's been a great challenge. And I mean, it has absolutely, brought me to my knees at times and challenged me to my core. I've had to learn and grow and evolve through it. And for that, I'm really grateful. And by the way, Jesse Minter was one of the bright spots of my first staff and has become such a dear friend to me. But that first team was not very good, and we were in it together. And I was a former D coordinator who was, judging his worst days off my best days. And through that, again, we've formed a really great friendship, and I'm so excited for him and excited for Baltimore for all that's happening.
Yeah, I thought that you would be a perfect person to talk to, and that's a good way to get into this. And just a few questions, if you have the time, is you mentioned your first year was 2021, correct, at Vandy?
That's correct.
So that was then the first year, and it turned out to be the only year with Jesse Minter. And you're right. I'll say this past year, that was a hell of a year for Vandy. We go back, it's been a process, right?
Yeah.
But talk to me about, you just said that Jesse's a dear friend and in the moments of all this, but to you, what makes Jesse so special as from those days you had together in 21, and what people don't know about him that makes him such an ideal head coaching candidate now? Well,
Jesse is a real person. He's a good person. He's a balanced person. This guy takes care of his family. He's like I said, he's a good friend. He's never too busy. We formed that friendship here. He left to go to Michigan, and sometimes, especially early on for me, I was so insecure, trying to build something that would sustain. And most everyone who left in those early years, I was ready to fight them out the door just because I was upset, but with Jesse, I was so excited for him. He was so classy in the way he handled all that, the way he communicated it. And I was excited for him to move on and to have his opportunity at Michigan. And then obviously, since he's been in the NFL, I've been out to visit him in LA probably 4 or 5 times in the last couple of years. So, he is a really skilled communicator. This guy is, first of all, he's not going to make it about him. This isn't a guy with a big ego where he understands it's a player's game. He's a skilled teacher. He's smart. He can figure things out, but he is, as a communicator, as good as I've been around. He knows how to contextualize the experience. So whether you're in, phase 1, phase 2, or OTAs, in training camp, or in the middle of the season, he's going to be able to get in front of the team and tell them exactly where they are, exactly what they're experiencing, and what is the next step they need to take to reach towards their goals. And not everyone can do that. And I've watched them do it here. I've watched them do it in LA. I heard you talking about, Derwin James' comments on Jesse. He absolutely instills confidence in the people he's responsible for because of the way he communicates and because he develops systems and process for people to take ownership over their development. And so in so many ways, he's a skilled collaborator. I've learned a lot from him about how to empower staff to bring their creative energy. He'll do that with the team. He'll do that across the organization. And look, just like with me, I mean, he's going to make mistakes too, but this guy's really smart. he's going to be able to adjust and adapt quickly. And I think this is the start of a great marriage between he and Baltimore. He understands the history there, and he's going to be smart and skillful in the way he folds his DNA into that and creates his imprint there. And in the same way that Mike's done in Seattle, like this guy is a sharp, smart communicator. He's a football guy. And I hope nothing but the best for him and for Baltimore.
See, that's what the insight that people wanted to hear for so many different reasons. Now, I might have to wait for the next time because I know I got to let you out of here in just a second. I want to hear what it sounds like you guys got a little fiery at times because we've also seen some moments of Jesse Minter showing some passion. So I might have to ask you about that in the future. Zach, did you have one quick thought here before we let Coach go?
Yeah, Coach, just real fast, talking about this past year and where you guys started in 2021 to now. Was there ever maybe a moment that you were able to take a step back and kind of realize what you've built? Or was there anything that sticks out where you're like, wow, like this is what I was hoping for, dreamed of when I took the job in 2021?
I really appreciate that question. And, it's hard because the conveyor belt never stops moving. And especially in college, I mean, we don't have the luxury of an off season. So we go from the season into what has become free agency. And now we're already starting, preparation and developing our new team. But one of the things that I appreciate is because the conveyor belt never stops moving, you live again in the context of the success you create. And so what is it today, January 23rd or something like that?
Yeah.
I've been at January 23rd as a 2-10 coach, and now I get to be at January 23rd as a 10-win coach. And man, this feels a lot better. I'm really proud of the way we've kept our soul intact here. I think we have a team. We say relatedness is our edge. This is a team that cares about what they're a part of. To go back to what I said about the beginnings of this journey, where it was like no one really felt there was any value here. And I'm talking about the people that were internal to the program. To see that change, and now to see that ripple out into our community too, where there's an excitement around the product we're putting on the field. All those things are like so meaningful to me, but maybe the most meaningful is that my kids can talk a little trash at school now, which, I mean, look, who you can't beat that. And so they can be proud of what they're a part of, and they can be proud of the work their dad's doing. And that makes me happy. And look, I'm just like you guys, man. It's all about what's next. It's all about how we elevate and take it further. But to do it in the context of having won 10 games and come a long way is super meaningful. And by the way, one thing real quick is Jesse Minter's intensity, and passion. I mean, to go through what we went through in that first year, and also you mentioned our competitive kind of relationship and the times where we had to communicate and have hard conversations. This guy's as good as any as I've ever been around of stepping into those conversations, not backing away from them, and also just keeping perspective through it. I watched him go at Michigan from a year where they underperformed in the playoffs, I believe against TCU, and how that shifted his process. And that was a moment for him where he had to step back and say, where do I need to improve? That gave way to probably one of the best defenses to ever do it in college football in the 23 Michigan team. That's who this guy is. I mean, he's intense. He cares a lot about it. He's prideful. He's smart. He's always adjusting and adapting. That's why I think this is going to go so well, and it won't be without hiccups, but he's got a great future ahead of him as the head coach.
Well, you guys, both of you are battle tested. You're willing to work through the tough times and to get to the better ones. And above all, that's why I love to start this conversation with, hey, what was your welcome to moments? You understand when just things can suck. You understand when you're at the bottom, but you persevere. You keep pushing forward. And also, Jesse's reputation is he surrounds himself with great people. You got a hell of a reputation, Coach. I'm excited for you. I'm glad you have a little bit more bragging rights for the family and the kids. And I hope the best. I hope we get a chance to talk to you down the road. It's a 24/7 job for you, But I'm pulling for you. Hope the best for you, and thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us.
Well, likewise, and I'm here anytime. It's a pleasure to be on with you, and anything I could do in support of Jesse Minter, I'm in for. So, I had Kyle Hamilton. I recruited and coached him at Notre Dame. He's my guy. Tyler Santucci is a close friend of mine too. He's been the linebacker coach there this past season. I got to think the world of the Baltimore community and the Ravens, and I'm excited for what's ahead.
So it sounds like we'll see you in Baltimore whenever you get a day.
That's right.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, be safe, be good, and have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you in the future.
Likewise, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Coach Lee, everybody. See, this is why, and if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I knew he was going to be great. I always love hearing the origin stories of where the starting is, and I also love hearing the fact of where players are and where it takes, even personnel, where you go to. And what we've heard so far, we're just going to talk about Jesse Minter. Go back to Coach Lee here in a second. But with Jesse Minter, the respect he has with everyone, Zach, is top-notch. The communication skills that he has and how he presents it is top-notch. And it's also that Jesse's been around great people that have helped him then learn the process. And I could tell Coach Lee is very humble, and he's not going to always look at himself in that light, but it's the people that Jesse has had a chance to learn from. And think about this. You got Coach Lee there at Vandy, Jim Harbaugh there with Michigan, and then out there in L.A. Oh, and then, by the way, John Harbaugh. Those are three really great people to learn a lot from. And then the staffs that are around them, plus the players. You know, it's a great combination here. And like I told you on the show, the hope for us moving forward is when you tune into this show, except our channel members, you'll know ahead of time. But you don't know who we're talking to today. And I can promise you, though, Zach, when we have guests on, they're pretty damn good guests. And Clark Lee, you could tell when you asked him that question, I'm glad you did. You could tell how much he appreciates that.
Yeah.
It's a freaking grind.
Well, let's not sugarcoat it. Vanderbilt, as like he said, they were starting from zero. Vanderbilt was not like it was the SEC, and then it was like, oh yeah, Vanderbilt's over there too. And what he walked into and where he has taken his alma mater to now, where I'm going to say it, this past football season, Vanderbilt on the TV, yeah, I'm tuning in. Like, that was a fun team. And the culture that he has established, one, gets me fired up for Jesse Minter even more because he's coming from someone that he obviously built that relationship, and it was at that round zero, literally walked in there and got me fired up. And definitely, I might have to get some Vandy stuff.
I'm gonna send them an email. I would love some Vandy gear.
Need it.
Need it. I will gladly go down and rock Vandy gear anywhere. The thing when you get into the sports world, right? Of course, we have our fandoms for teams, right? If you're from Baltimore, you probably like the Orioles and the Ravens. It's probably a fair guess. But overall, you root for people. And what, in this case, I love seeing the origin of what Vandy's become. But also, too, when people go other places, you know, Coach Lee, he's a fan of Jesse Minter. And wherever Jesse goes, he's supported. It's the people that drive it here. And I think that's a message. Clark Lee said it. Sean Merriman said it. And for Ravens fans, if you're hearing this about Jesse Minter, this looks like the guy, even though there's a lot of candidates, it looked like if the Ravens were going to move off from John Harbaugh, which they obviously did, that you wanted to feel that you were handing over the keys to one of the best jobs in professional sports. I'll say it. Right now, being the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens with the team that they have and the organization that it is, it's one of the best opportunities. You feel really damn good that everybody has positive things to say and people that have been around the game and understand the grind when things are good, bad, and ugly. That Jesse Minter is going to battle through it. And he looks like he is the right guy to handle all of it. And he's going to have a lot to handle here because not only are the Ravens expected to win the division this next year, Zach, well, not about the division.
Soupy.
It's going to be a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That expectation is going to be there, but it sounds like Jesse Minter is going to be up to the task.
I will say I genuinely feel like from everyone that we've talked to and everything I've read and all the people that have come out and talked about him, I genuinely feel like we would have to put in a crap ton of effort and every stone, no stone left unturned. If we were like, hey, can someone please come on the show and talk about maybe a downside to Jesse Minter? And I don't think there'd be a person. Like everyone that talks about him is like incredible coach, mentor, but even better person. He's like he said, he's never too busy for you. He's always, and that's the kind of, we talk about it. It's the people. And so many times in sports, you can talk about the X's and O's and you got to have that down pat, but it's the people. Hell, Sean Merriman talked about in regards to Phillip Rivers. Preparation and getting guys to play for you. I mean, it's half the battle. And it seems like from everything we've heard, Jesse Minter's coming in and he's got both of those in spades.
Yeah, I mean, anything you do, when you look at places, like that's what I was trying to say about like the Patriots with Bill Belichick and over those years. And a lot of people have had mixed thoughts on him, both the players, former players, current players, but there was a respect for it because the formula always worked, right, Zach? Like that was it. They knew what they had to do to win. Obviously, Tom Brady knows a thing or two about winning. He's considered the greatest quarterback the game's ever seen because of his attitude, how he approached it. But that's an example there where they were saying there's a Patriot way and it has to be done. You can't really argue when the success is working. But then Tom leaves and you still try to have that Patriot way. We heard there was a lot of issues. Why? Because the winning wasn't happening. And when the winning's not happening, that's where more problems can present themselves. And it usually comes back to, can you get along? Can you make it work? Can you communicate? Because why the Patriots, it was so I know in Baltimore, and I'm not saying you got to feel sorry for the Pats. That's not what I'm saying. But the fact that 20-year run ended so bitter, that is a sad thing to see. Like that is a fantastic run. And then Harbaugh, 18 years here. Yeah, it didn't end the way that you wanted, but there was that respect. There was that love. And then, hey, we're moving on. And for Jesse Minter here, when you have a person that's going to care about the guys, look, through good, bad, and ugly, man, they're going to work. And if it's not going to work out, it's not going to be because this guy isn't going to help put these players in the best position, you know? But we'll see. Every head coach, I should say, has their own style, Zach. So time will tell what Jesse Minter's style will be, but we got good indications of what his makeup is not only a person, but how he communicates the message and what he wants to accomplish on the defensive side of the ball. So, new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Zach, from this stream, let's head to that stream. And that is the Auto Stream. Auto Stream Car Care Center, guys. There's 10 locations throughout Maryland. And here's the deal. You go and get your car fixed. Because, look, we all have car issues. But right now, you go there and you said, hey, I need to get my brakes fixed, new tires, whatever it is. Any service that you need, you mentioned Ryan Ripken, they'll give you $50 off. And I want to emphasize, Zach, I said any service.
Woo.
Gets expensive, but you go to people that you trust. I went there. I spent time with those people. And I'm telling you, those are great people. If you don't believe me, check out all the great reviews as well. But we're just about people helping people here. And AutoStream Car Care Center, $50 off when you use Ryan Ripken or the Ryan Ripken Show. And now, from that stream back to this stream, Zach, it's Friday, baby. It's Friday. You are going to have to do Let Me Put My Poems at the next half hour. You're going to have to get ready for Let Me Put My Poems in you. You're going to have to play the game.
I accept. You know that? Look, I accept. If it's as easy as by Usher, I would.
Well, you give me a time frame.
Yeah, I'll give you something.
And we'll do it.
Yeah.
So that was great football talk. Foosball. Get some. We got some baseball talk we got to get into here. And if we got time as well, that's our plan for our call-ins for channel members. We'll open it for about 10 minutes or so and knock that out. and we'll rock and roll. So overall here, Zach, baseball, sports. There's been some things happening. So yesterday when we were on air, Mackenzie Gore got traded. And that was about it yesterday, right? Nothing else happened really yesterday. I haven't seen anything, not specifically about a specific pitcher.
No.
Or pitchers. All I keep hearing is that this move is going to happen. The Orioles are the front line to get them. Wasn't there an ESPN article that was out, Zach, saying that the Orioles are going to sign, but we couldn't find who wrote the article?
Yeah, ESPN put an article out, and when we looked who it was by, it just said ESPN. So ESPN put an article out, and it was bold predictions for the rest of the 2026 offseason, and their prediction was, hey, the Orioles, yes, the Baltimore Orioles, that was the exact words that they used, we're going to win the 2026 offseason because of Pete Alonso, Ryan Helsley, Kittredge back, Taylor Ward. But they said they're not done. And actually, the way that they said it is they're ending the offseason with a haymaker. They said signing Framber Valdez, the, I would say, unanimous top pitcher remaining. I think that's pretty, I feel comfortable saying that. So we've seen the reports. I believe it's John Heyman. I've seen Bob Nightingale post it, that there is that belief among executives that Framber ends up in Baltimore, which puts a little pressure of Ryan. What if he doesn't?
And what if he doesn't? Like, that is the question, because while people are pointing to, well, what's the holdup? It's so obvious, which, again, it's not as always obvious as you think. There's so many things behind the scenes. But now that the years are getting knocked down, it seems, that's the reports as well, Zach. What is holding this up? And then it's leading to this next question. And this is crazy to me because I got asked this, and I know I'll talk about it tonight on the hot stove on 105.7. But the question that's been asked to me, Zach, will this offseason be a failure if the Orioles don't sign a frontline starter? And I'm thinking to myself out loud, I go, failure? Saying the word failure? And I'm going through, let's go through this offseason real quickly for the Baltimore Orioles, because overall, Zach, on the wish list that Mike Elias had and the needs that the team were looking to upgrade at, let's go through it. You added Taylor Ward, who right now, when you're looking at the market, would have been probably one of the better outfielders on the market, and he's an everyday player. You signed the best right-handed bat on the market in Pete Alonso. That's a good move. You reacquired Andrew Kittredge to help your bullpen. You traded for Shane Baz to add to your rotation, a guy that has upside to be a top 2 guy in your rotation, the upside, but he'll slot in as a 3 to 5 in your rotation, but the talent's there. Then you sign a closer. You got Ryan Helsley, which I'm not buying the Mets numbers. I'm not buying that, where taking out of his role, the Mets were in a full free fall. I'm going to trust the numbers that I've seen for the last few years with Ryan Helsley, which have been very dominant. So you got a closer who I believe is going to bounce back and can pitch at an all-star caliber level. So there's so many good parts there, Zach. But, man, the rotation and the team feels so much different if they did have a Ranger Suarez, if they did now sign a Framber Valdez. Because that's the part where people are still wondering, does it feel like it's enough? And there's so many pitching injuries that this team has had. What if that happens again?
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like because Framber's value has dropped so much, that this is the perfect storm. I think 3 years gets the deal done, Zach. I really do. But that's the question. I kind of want to hear your thoughts, because I know you don't like the word failure being thrown out, because that's not a fair thing to say. But I do understand it's around the urgency or the need to add another frontline guy.
Yeah, it's not a failure. It's a disappointment. I think that's the perfect way to put it. It isn't a failure. You can't fail an offseason where you get the top right-handed power hitter in Pete Alonso. When you add 229 RBIs to your team with Taylor Ward and Pete Alonso, when you go get a closer, when you bring back your setup man in Kittredge, you trade for a young, high-end stuff, high-potential guy in Shane Baz. It's not a failure. It's a disappointment if they don't get that front-end guy, because that's what people felt like is the one missing piece. It is. And so I get it. I would be disappointed as disappointed as anyone. It would suck if they don't get a frontline guy. It's a disappointment. It's not a failure of an offseason, but it definitely leaves way more questions about this roster. It leaves you to sit there and go, okay, why? It opens up the can of worms of, okay, in May, June, July, before the deadline, if stuff is happening and the pitching's going down, pitching's not what you think it could be, because there's a lot of potential in the pitching staff, but there's not a lot of solid, we know what we're going to get from him guys. You could put Dean there. I think a healthy Eflin, pretty much what they're going to be. But besides that, you're hoping on potential. You're hoping Rodgers takes that, continues that next step. You're hoping Baz fulfills his potential. Bradish, it's all about staying healthy. If he's healthy, Kyle Bradish is a top 5 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
I think it is disappointing, but it's hard to say it's a failure of an offseason. But to say, if you would have told me that they left this offseason without a starting frontline guy, I'd be disappointed as all get out, without a doubt.
I mean, the disappointed is a better way to describe that. You'd be disappointed. I think the reason why people would be more disappointed, Zach, is because the reports of how many times they're saying that the Orioles are in on this guy. The Orioles are in. They were really close to a deal with Ranger Suarez, but they didn't get him. It's that constant conversation. Now, I want to reiterate this. If they don't sign Framber because they have their other reasonings for it, I'm still not going to be upset with that. The disappointment part would come from, well, then why wasn't a guy like Ranger Suarez then prioritized more? Why didn't you try to get to the finish line if Framber's not going to be your guy? And here's the reality, too, in sports, and we talked about this on the pitching market, Zach. Someone's going to be this year's Nick Pivetta. And we've said it before, but Nick Pivetta, 4-year, $55 million deal last year. So what? That's $14 million, just under $14 million a year, Zach. And he was a top 5-6 pitcher in the National League. Somebody is going to outplay their contract. It's a guarantee. But we don't know, and you can have this conversation after the season and say the Orioles went in a different direction and say they did get Zach Gallen and he outperformed his contract, or, one of the other depth rotation pieces and they outperformed their contract, or Shane Baz elevates to being a 2. That's all great. It's amazing. But it still is the question mark of, well, right now, do you feel 100% comfortable with where you're at? I think that the Orioles, and I've been on the record, they can go compete right now, Zach. We both agree. There's nothing about the competition. We had Westberg on yesterday. Albernez leading the ship. There is an intensity level there. But we also know in the flip of a switch, your pitching gets hurt, injuries happen across your lineup, you can be decimated and you can fall into a free fall. The Orioles did not have the depth at pitching last year. So for me, more so of it is getting Framber is not, or Zach Gallen, or whoever it's going to be, it's not that necessarily is going to mean they're going to pitch like an ace, Zach. But I think it further solidifies that if things were to go wrong, we have a buffer. And not only a buffer, we have guys that the level of outcomes is going to be better than if we didn't have Framber or Zach Gallen. That's how I view it. That's how it seems like to me.
Yeah, and I agree. It's one of those things where it would be really nice to have Framber, a guy that as you're probably slides into a 2 if we have a healthy Bradish. Having a guy that you look at and hey, they are taking that next step. Because right now, with the current roster, like you just said, I believe they can compete. I think they can compete for a playoff spot for the AL East. But at some point, it's not about just competing. It's about we want to win a World Series. And to do that, if you have the opportunity to sign a frontline guy like they do, you have to take it. And reports have come out about it looked like there was a path where Ronher Suarez signs with the Orioles the week before he signed in Boston, and things kind of shifted. Boston pivots after pivot. Pivots after Bregman. They go and they're like, okay, we'll sign Ronher. We'll give you the exact deal the Orioles did. He goes there. And it just felt like, okay, now things are building. And if the Orioles were never involved in these conversations, I think you'd be even more disappointed. But I think there's also that letdown of everyone and their mothers reporting, hey, the Orioles are in on this. Hey, it looks like the Orioles are going to be the front team to get this guy. And then if they don't, I think that's where the reaction stems from even more, because everyone's like, well, if they wanted it to happen, why didn't you get it done? How do we keep getting outbid? Why are you always the bridesmaid, never the bride? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's the bigger part here, is just changing the narrative more than anything. And also for the Orioles case, if you don't sign somebody, then you're going to be aggressive during the season. And that price point will be higher. And if that's the case, Zach, then so be it. That's whether it's right now or in the summertime. Look, cool. Like that works out. It's the problem of if things were to go wrong early and you don't have the depth, what happens? What's next? Because you know what? That is what happened last year. The Orioles didn't have the starting pitching depth and the offense underperformed. Now, I'm not expecting a healthy Orioles offense to underperform like they did, Zach. I am not at all. I believe in that group. Westy, I think, is that glue. Polar Bear Pete, he's going to drive in runs. Gunner's going to play with his hair on fire or ass on fire, whatever you want it to be. But overall, the pitching, if you lose arms, that's a hard thing to make up. It's the same thing when I say earlier in the season, protect your bullpen. If your starters get hurt or your starters can't go deep into a game, it's a cycle that you don't want to get into in April. So the bigger part with the Orioles, it's not about a failure of making that this offseason has been so positive. But if you don't make a move, fans will be disappointed, number one. And two, you will face the risk that if the staff or one member or two goes down, that you're going to be scrambling before the season even gets going. And one more thing to throw in, Zach. I hope everyone stays healthy. It's the World Baseball Classic right now. One of your starters is going to be thrown in that, and you hope everything's good.
Yeah.
I hope everything's good with Dino. I want everyone to go out and play. I mean, Skeens is pitching, Skubal's pitching, but those are the risks. If you can mitigate your risk by adding a top-line guy, and it was worth the price that you set out to be, why not take it? And that's going to be the question that Oriole fans and at least the Orioles in general are going to have to make. And we'll find out here soon enough because it's January 23rd. Spring training, Zach, is in 3 weeks.
Crazy.
This shit is bananas. Bananas. When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Just like that. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And we also are on the podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. We had Sean Merriman on, longtime Charger and Buffalo Bill, just NFL vet, all pro, lights out. And then we had Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee, who was great. Both of them gave great insight into new Ravens head coach Jesse Minter, which we're excited about for him. We're excited about for the opportunities. It's been fun. And we started a little bit earlier. I know people asked earlier. Yes, we did start early for once, and it was mainly to make sure that we had enough time with both of our guests and nothing was being rushed. But we've had a great week so far. So if you've missed our interviews, Zach, we've had, let's see, we've had Gary Kubiak, we've had Mike Pedden, we've had Teddy Buchanan, we've had Jordan Westberg, we just had Sean Merriman, Clark Lee. Am I missing anyone for just this week? Ian O'Connor was on Monday.
Yeah, I honestly keep, and no disrespect, I feel like that was
ever ago.
weeks ago.
Ryan O'Hearn was last week.
Yeah. Wow. We've had a lot going on. It's been fun though. It's been a fun time.
So it means we might have some more people because, ladies and gentlemen, it's confirmed. We said it the other day, but it is confirmed. We will be on radio/media row for the week. We're going to have to figure out our show times for that. And to be honest, just depending on how the connection is.
It's going to depend on the Wi-Fi, I'll say. If it's crappy like last year, we ain't doing it.
Yeah.
We'll pre-record and you guys will see it, but that was rough.
It
Same
was.
thing with winter meetings. That was
Rough.
That Wi-Fi was so bad.
But we also already have some great guests lined up, and we have more that we're looking to add. And I mean a lot. So we can't wait. A lot of great content. You guys know we're building something here. We believe it's going to be something special. And we already have over 24,000 of you on YouTube. Thank you. We will have a 24-hour stream. We have to figure out the date.
Yeah,
how that's going to be.
Yeah, we got to put some work in for that.
Because that is the definition. That is a marathon.
Literally. So got to talk to Kevin about that and figure out when he can come into the studio.
Is it a 24 hours in the studio?
I will probably be in here for 24 hours. Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I think we need to trying to figure out how we bookend it, like show to show. So I'm trying to figure that all out. We'll see it. We'll see. But yeah, we'll do a 24-hour stream. Yeah, figure that out.
That's gonna be
insane. I got to figure out. We're gonna have to plan out a lot of things because 24 hours is going to be that is a long time.
I wonder if do we get the big old plastic balls and it's like we do competitions, so it's like or get the giant sumo suits.
Yeah, like we're gonna have to figure something. Like I'm sure at one point maybe we try, like me and Kevin and I, one of us, we're like gonna have to break some number on Papa Shot, something like that. Like we're gonna have to find ways, like challenges to do. We're not obviously just gonna sit here and talk sports for 24 hours. It's gonna be a lot of just chaos. I like to talk, but 24 hours straight of just sports would be. I think we're gonna have to do the Papa Shot. We'll figure some stuff out.
We got a lot of things we got to figure out there, but that is one of those things that we will get sorted out, and that is going to be crazy. Where's my I have my glasses, Zach, because it is Friday and we don't have intern Nate / Kevin Jr. What time frame would you like? Let me put my poems in you today.
We'll go same time frame as Nate.
So 2010s?
Yeah, 2010s pop or
you
something.
Want 2010s pop? Okay.
We'll figure something out. We'll get something cooking.
What else we got going on today? Well, I'll be live from on the Hot Stove on 105.7, by the way, today, 6 to 7, because we don't stop. We keep grinding. Oh, there's some songs on here I haven't heard in a hot minute from 2010. And you said pop is what you want.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
It should be interesting. Am I missing anything that we have specifically? I know we have our channel members, which, by the way, our channel members, you guys will know each day when we're having the guests that we're having for the show on beforehand. So you guys will know that. We will have the call-ins open up here today. We're trying to stay more on a schedule. So it'll be like a 10, 15 minutes for call-ins every Friday. That's our plan here on the Ryan Ripken Show. And while I'm thinking of this, man, which way do I want to go with this is really the question. I got it. Yep. Okay. If you don't get this, I'll be a little bit disappointed.
I would be prepared to be disappointed.
So every Friday, we also do Let Me Put My Poems in You, because it's a little Friday fun. And we had some great guests on. And actually, to recap this past week, Zach, let me pull up a clip of just who we had on this past week and a little bit of the fun clip. I put it out on Instagram today. But here are some moments from this week's show where thanking our guests and the moments that we had. Let me see if Zach, over under, Oh, I found it. Yeah, I got it. Over, under. I'm losing my mind. I'm sorry. I want to kiss you all over and again. Dun, dun, dun. And Zach doesn't know that one. No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, enjoy this little fun video of our guest from this past week. Afternoon to you. Holy beard, man.
That's
cold, man. It's the off season.
Everyone's saying you look jacked right now.
Yeah,
like,
you look yoked.
I don't think I'll touch some of the weights I did in college, but no, I appreciate you calling me jacked.
Do I even want to ask you how old you think I am? I'm afraid.
32.
Did you have positive experiences with Nick Moore? Because if you didn't, you let me know. I'll go kick his ass right now. Did you do your homework before this show, Mike?
No, but you obviously the way you set it up, you're saying like based on your receding hairline, I was going to think you're 40. And when you said it that way, I'd say you're going to look younger. So I went with a lower number.
I thought the picture was good too in the little ad. I thought it was a good picture.
You like that photo?
Well, how close am I?
Oh, no, you're right. You're spot
Nailed it.
on. I'm 32. You might be out there doing some work, you know?
Hey, man, I'll be shoveling snow. For sure.
Hey, dude, make sure you get a good pic for the gram then. Pull off the look that you have right now. But I don't know if I can.
Yeah, this happened a long time ago. I called it the Italian curse. It was the hair was falling out of my head, but landing on my back and starting to grow again.
Off-season work, you know.
Yeah,
Hashtag
just-
lumberjack.
Blue collar things. That's it.
I mean, the suit looks good. It's your smile looks great. I like it.
Teddy, I need you on more. I need more of that in my life.
Take the bat outside in the snow, take a pic, and be like, grind don't stop.
Hitting snowballs, man. Hitting
Yeah.
snowballs, yeah.
Dude,
We can get it done, man. I mean, we can get it done no matter what the weather brings. There's a way.
write that down. Would you rather say you can dance okay or that you have great energy when you dance? I'm gonna go talk to Uncle David and just see like, hey, let's write that motto down for the team.
I'd say great energy. I feel like that's like displaying. If you could just dance okay, it's like, okay, that means you're trying, but you're not actually good at it. If you have great energy, it's like, I feel like that's more important.
Damn. Yeah, that's what I do. I bring some energy. Zach. We bring it. And it's been a great list. Not included because it wasn't live was Gary Kubiak. We had Ian O'Connor. Those were just some of the more colorful moments from our guests. We appreciate them. We can add to the list here moving forward. But now, Zach, I'm going to open up the call-in line here. Again, we're going to have 10 minutes. But
Here, I can just post it right now.
But just for the Rips Better Kids. For the better kids.
Yep.
Excuse me, for the better kids. But while we do that, then, we're going to have to play a little game called Let Me Put My Poems in You, Zach. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
You ready? Okay, let me put my glasses on. This one is an easy one. So everyone, shh.
We'll see.
This is our Friday fun. Let me put my poems in you. If you guys are not aware of this game, and I know it sounds very skeptical, I am going to read song lyrics in poem style. Zach then must guess the name of the song correctly. That's how we play. You ready to play, Zach?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. 2010, pop. Okay. I hit the floor because that's my plans. Plans. Give me some space
Both my
for both my hands.
Yeah.
Because it goes on and on and on.
Yeah,
And it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
I throw my hands up in the air sometime.
Say, hey, yo, gotta let go. Look at you. I want to celebrate and live my life. Saying, hey, yo, baby, let's go. Because we gon' rock. We gon' go all night. We gon' light it up like it's dynamite. Good
Dynamite.
job. Good job.
That's Tail Cruz? Is that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
made it super easy for you.
As soon as you said the first one, I was like, ooh.
Had to. I made it easy for you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
We got to work a little bit on our bravado, but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
It takes time.
It was a
Just wait until Firework Katy Perry. Then we're That song is a banger. You know how I feel about female pop. You know how I feel about that. All right, let's get to the call-in lines. We're going to have about, 10, 15 minutes total.
Yeah.
We'll keep it open. But I think first one we got was Rick behind the screen.
Yep.
Rick.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Oh, wow. Look at that handsome fellow behind you. Damn, I look good.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, you did? How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Getting ready for this big blizzard.
So is this happening?
I think something's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be what they're saying. I think we'll get probably maybe 8 inches and it'll turn to sleet. I've seen it too many times.
Yeah, I'm not. Everyone's saying the big bad 14, 15 inches Zach's talking about over here. I don't see
what they're saying.
So I do think it's going to, if it rains, it's just going to ruin the experience. I'd rather us just get smacked.
I know it's going to ruin it.
Yeah.
And now from like Carroll County or Western Baltimore County west, they'll probably get it good.
Yeah.
But you know how it is where we are. We usually get turns into rain or sleet.
It's just nasty. Just
Yeah.
absolutely nasty, Rick. Well, we'll see. I mean, that could impact our show on Monday. I mean, we'll still do the show live, but depending on if we're here or mobile, I think I'm not doing work for 105 that night out of precaution. But the Ryan Ripken show, we're doing it no matter what. Damn it!
But you pretty much took all the baseball things I was going to talk about.
So we did our job.
Yes, you did.
So would you be with the Framber convo? And when we talked about the Orioles offseason, failure's an aggressive term, but fans being disappointed if they don't land a frontline starter. Do you lean that way?
That's exactly right. I mean, it was a good offseason. It really was, no matter what happens. But the reason people are going to be disappointed is because he said he was going to get a top of the rotation guy. And that's not his fault. It takes two to tango. You know, they said that we were in on Ranger and he just picked Boston, so there ain't nothing he can do about that.
Right.
But I think we're in good shape, you know. I think we'll be in it, and then we get to the trade deadline. If we don't get it, if we don't get Framber, we don't get Gowan, we might end up with one of them. But if we don't get to the trade deadline, we're still in it. Maybe we can get somebody then. So I'm riding with them either way.
Yeah, we're riding, man. I'm the team. The Birds are going to have. They already have enough to compete. They already have enough in my mind to go out there and have a lot of success in 26. And it's, you know, you got to go play the damn game now with whoever you have. The problem was the Orioles last year is just too many guys got injured. And the problem was that the guys that you had underperformed. And you just can't have that again if you're going to have success. But Toronto wasn't supposed to be a World Series contending team, and they were 2 inches away on a slide from winning the whole damn thing. So, yeah, man, it's almost here. After we're done the Super Bowl and after we're out there in San Fran, we'll be making our way down south. We're going to hit a few spots, not just the Orioles this year. Get you some cover. We're going to get some more interviews from guys, maybe some familiar faces too. With they used to be Baltimore Orioles, you know.
I'm not liking seeing my giant head on TV.
Dude, Rick, you look great on the
No. I need to lose
it is
some
a
weight.
pretty big squash. I will say that. Coming from a guy that has a squash. Yeah, I get it.
They had to special order my helmet when I played football.
I dare ask what your hat size was, Rick?
It was big. I don't know.
Damn. How big's your head? Big.
Big.
Oh, God. Hey, Rick, you're a good kid, man. I don't care what Zach says about you. I think you're a good
that
kid.
damn Zach.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
I would never say anything about Rick.
He just would say shit about me. That's
1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah. Any last things, Rick, before we let you go?
Nah, I just called in to say hello.
Good. I'm glad you did. Well, let me know, because you know what's going to happen here. We're going to be relaxed. I'm going to put my feet up, have a tequila or two, and then whammy, the Orioles do not sign Framber Valdez. That's going to be you have to deal with it, right?
I'm hoping they do. I'm still holding out hope.
It's going to be reverse psychology. Let's believe in it, Rick. All right. Well, bundle up, man. Be safe. And
all right, buddy.
Talk soon. All right.
All right.
Rick, appreciate Rick.
Woo.
How big's your head? Big. See, I might just describe myself as that, with just one line and just repeat the word again. I love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
How much do you love it? Love.
Love it, love it,
Yeah.
love it.
All right. Who we got
Love.
next? We got Joe.
Yeah, we got Arkansas Joe.
Joe, what's going on?
Woo.
Cold?
Hey, fellas.
How we doing?
It's very cold and windy. Yes, we're expecting some 8 inches of sleet and freezing rain and snow. So everybody thinks the world's going to end. And I've done a day's worth of work in 3 stores. So it's been a day.
Sure, that kind. Yeah, that's the thing is, it's not the snow that's here. It's the is it going to be ice, sleet, rain? Like, because if it's the mixture, then the roads are just ice. Everything just sinks. If it's just fluffy snow, and you're like, all right, obviously shoveling it and stuff, but I can deal with that. If it's just an ice storm and everything's covered in ice, that's the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah, when everything's covered in ice, the neighbors could go out there and the power company could come and shoot their rifles into the air to get the ice off the power lines. That's what we do down here. Rifles get the ice off the power lines.
Does the town shut down? So when we had Westy on, they said there's one salt truck or one truck period. What are the reasons?
Our dock is really good. They're out. They pre-treated the roads.
Okay.
They do a real good job down here of actually being on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still pretty crazy. People act nuts. I get the day off, so I ain't worried about it.
Hey, that's great. We might, the show, what I just mentioned, we'll be doing the show Monday, but for 105, I'm not doing the hot stove Monday night just for the threat of all this. I know it's more inconvenient when you can't go anywhere with the snow, but there's something about the whole situation.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but then it turns into sleet and it's rain, and I'm like, this is what this was going to be. It kind of brings me down. I'd love to see it. One little big snowstorm.
It's been an interesting year for your boy here, man. I started off with the flu, coming straight out of vacation. I got the flu the first week of January. I've had 2 urgent care visits and an ER visit in 2026. So it's been a rough start.
Take care. I mean, make sure you take care of yourself, Joe.
The ER visit wasn't from the flu, though. I got in a fight with a family member and spent a night in county jail. So that was.
I don't know if Joe, I can save myself and for you. I don't know if I really want to know specifically what happened there.
No,
I gotta
we won't go into details, but
I gotta be careful there, Joe.
The mugshot was very hilarious. The police grabbed the shirt, the Pete Alonso shirt, out of the drawer, and that's what I went to the hospital and to get my mugshot in. So it was incredible.
Oh boy. Well, I'll just say this, Joe. I hope
I've never been in trouble in my life, so it was just an experience. I don't want to relive it, but it was
for sure. I get it. That sounds like a hell of a couple week period, to say the least. But above all, make sure for your health, get back, take care of yourself as best you can. There's a lot of stuff going around. I'm trying to feel good. I feel like I'm losing my voice, maybe because I talk too much. And but we're going out to the Super Bowl next week or 2 weeks, Joe. I'll share with all you guys when the time comes, but we got some really great guests that are lined up. So, but I can't spoil it just yet because we're trying to finalize a few.
Are you selling newspapers now? Is that what the newsy hat's for? You look like an old time newspaper boy.
You know what? I'm peacocking. I'm bringing style to 2026, Joe. Okay. I'm a fashion icon in 2026. So don't you forget that. Yeah.
I believe it.
When the Ryan Ripken show goes national, it's going to be with this hat.
Take us all with you.
Yeah. Well, hey, Joe, before I let you go and before you have to survive the snowstorm, any final words?
Jesse Minter is from Little Rock.
Oh. Of course he is. Look at all the connections. So that means
And
Jesse
he was a
Minter.
finalist for the Bros Award, which is the award they do here for the best assistant coach in college. So he was a finalist when he was at Michigan, I believe.
So that's a great Arkansas fact today. Jesse Minter. You want to know more about Jesse Minter? We're hearing about all the communication. He's a good leader, great with people. Oh, by the way, he's an Arkansas guy. Well, there we go.
I don't know how long he lived here, but I heard it on the radio this morning. He has connections to Little Rock.
Where it all goes down. That's where it all goes down. Well, Joe, we appreciate you, man. Enjoy the tundra down in Arkansas, and we'll let you know if we have sleet and rain or snow or whatever the hell we're doing. We'll be live on Monday, one way or another.
Yeah, this is interesting, the new setup, because it shows the vertical and the horizontal. So I'm seeing two of me.
Yeah,
so it's like I'm seeing three pictures of myself.
Damn right you are. Yeah, damn right, Joe. All right, Joe, be good, be safe, and we'll talk to you later on, all right?
Later, guys.
See you, Joe. All right, we got our last call in. Appreciate you guys. So Fridays, call-ins are back for the Rips Better Kids. So if you want to be a part of the call-in program, Better Kids. And look, we've been growing and we've had so much going on. And I know with our community, we're trying to get back to all of that, right? And now that when we get through the Super Bowl, we get to spring training, past it, we're going to have these cadences. But I think, Zach, Fridays will be call-in days for our group. That is the kind of that is the plan for us. We want to have scheduled days that we do fun activities while bringing on some great guests. So should we have a dance? Do you want a dance day?
I'm just in,
You ever
swimming
played-
a little bit.
You ever played Dance Dance Revolution?
Yes, I played Dance Dance Revolution.
Did you hear Teddy talk about the energy?
It's all about energy.
So to me, I think you could bring a little bit more energy when it comes to the dance floor, just on a personal level.
That's an insult. That's an insult.
I'm just saying.
I bring the energy.
I see what you could do.
Just
You've seen what I can do.
sadly.
And is that energetic or what? Tarps on and off.
I was going to say it's a lot. That is a loaded question.
Yeah, buddy. All right, let's bring on our last call in right now. We got Laura behind there. Laura.
Wow, Ryan. Wow.
What'd I do?
Tarps on and tarps off. Okay.
Yeah, Laura, it's bad.
Okay, was that not an entertaining time? Were you not?
Oh, it was entertaining.
Trust us, we were entertained on the live stream, the after wedding live stream. We were entertained.
I'll be honest, still, I hadn't seen that full thing, and I don't know if I want to. I know I wasn't in it very long, but I didn't realize that Zach was doing it because I was walking. I'll say at that point of the evening,
I gave a warning.
I
will say this.
I know I might have been overserved.
That I will take credit for this. Rocco was just like, I'm bringing everyone on this thing. I was like, hey, Ryan, we are live if you want to be a part of this. And like you said, at that point in the night, you were like, let me be on the live. Let's do it. So that was on you.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Ryan was very well.
He was having a time. It was his time.
Correct. And he should have been. It was his wedding. He's allowed to have a time. Absolutely. Okay?
I mean, it's not the first time I've taken my tarp off on a dance floor. So it's not going to be my last, Zach. Why is that?
Okay.
I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly, Might happen at the Super. No, I'll behave at the Super Bowl. But Laura, talk to me. What's going on?
I'm going to disagree with you and Rick as far as if we don't have a top of the rotation starter, it is a failure. It's not a disappointment. It's a failure because we know how incredibly important pitching is. Mm-hmm. I mean, hitting's great and all, But you see what happens when people go into slumps, people don't hit, and everything else. You got to have that pitching to be on point. And we don't have that. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have that on point.
I mean, I agree that they still are lacking that, right? That's still a huge part of this circumstance, right? And overall, for the Orioles, they go into the season like they have what they need right now to get going. But it is not that I like to play the hypothetical game. It's one of my least favorite games. But if what happened last year happened where you had an injury or two, you're depleted and you're putting your team behind the 8 ball. So you're just hoping that some of these other guys pick it up. But for me, I think it'd be hard to say a failure because if they're healthy, I think they're going to be really good. But you just feel so much better. Like it changes the perception. Oh, if Framber is on your team or not, you're like, oh, from a pitching standpoint, you're like, damn.
Right.
Yeah.
And then again, if people do go down, what do we have? What do we have in Aberdeen or Bowie or wherever to bring up?
Or especially in that situation where thrusting some guys into a spot where last year when that opportunity happened, some guys were not ready. And this next year there's still question marks. Like Cade Povich, they're trying to figure out how to fully factor him in. I love his upside. But again, the reliability factor, he's an MLB arm, but he still needs to learn some more. He needs to continue to get better. For the Orioles, though, if you're going into the season, you're not worried about guys getting better necessarily. It's important. It's very important. But the Orioles now, with the team you've assembled, you got to win. You got to win. So there's got to be some pressure. And I think that can be very hard for some of these young pitchers that are coming up instead of focusing on their development first. Because once they get to Baltimore, Laura, it's a different story.
Correct. They got to produce. So
they got to produce. Well, hey, what else you got going on? What are your other thoughts? What do you got going on this weekend?
My other thing, and you may have seen it in the Discord that you don't ever pimp anymore. Yeah, just FYI. I got my first nurse residency offer. I haven't decided if I'm going to take it or not, but I'm getting out there and I'm hopefully going to I graduate in April. So,
woo!
Yeah. So,
good time.
Yeah. So it's at UNC Health in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'm very, very excited. And I'm waiting to see what else comes in because I am applying not only here in Florida, but also in North Carolina. So let's see what happens.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations.
You guys have been on this road with me to, in nursing school. So
we've all been on this journey together here. It feels like, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. Also, Raleigh had some good times in Raleigh, July 4th, 2019.
I have family from there, so trust me, I know all about Raleigh.
Yeah, we got rained out on a game in Raleigh. We were playing the was it the Carolina Mudcats? Maybe it was the Brewers High A team, and we never get off on 4th, but it rained and the field was underwater, and then the rain stopped. But we just said, hey, doubleheader the next day. So we're like, oh, 4th of July, we're going out. And it was a full send. And then doubleheader the next day, not the best decision. Your boy did all right, though. I think I had 2 or 3 hits.
Good job.
Yeah. But, whoa, yeah, lost a lot of good men out there at the bar.
The only other thing I got, I'm excited about Jesse Minter. He was not my first choice. I wanted Clint Kubiak, but I'm gonna roll with it. I mean, it's done. The deal is done. I'm excited. It sounds like very positive. I only hear very positive things about him. So let's go Ravens.
Hey, let's go Ravens. Laura, and I said it a lot this show. You're right. I mean, people like other candidates and like Clint Kubiak could be one hell of a head coach one day. Chris Shula, I think he'll be one hell of a head coach when he gets the opportunity. But everyone's love or admiration and respect for Jesse Minter is really refreshing to hear. So if there's things that people might not have liked initially, there's a good vote of confidence that a lot of people that have had a lot of success can't say nothing but great things about him. So we'll see. Time will tell. Now the journey just begins.
Yep.
Well, Laura, be safe, be good.
Hey,
And
I got 99 problems, but the weather ain't one.
damn, because it doesn't snow down there.
It is 86 degrees, baby.
Same here. Okay. Well, Laura, appreciate you. See ya.
See you guys.
Hey, we got some good kids, and that will conclude the call-ins today. Appreciate all of our call-ins. If you want to be a part of the call-ins for next show, Rips Better Kids, we do that every Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. We appreciate you guys. I see that Brooks also had too much fun in Raleigh. So it sounds like, I'm assuming that was in college playing baseball, and you had missed a curfew maybe, Brooks, is why you got suspended? Come on, man. You can't do that. Zach, you would never do that.
I've never missed a curfew.
We're having curfew checks in San Francisco.
I mean, I will be snug as a bug the minute before. Don't you worry.
But the curfew might not be until 2 a.m.
Snug as a bug in a rug.
With a pug.
Yeah.
Never mind. With a pug. And the pug's name's Doug. Woo! Sports. All right. Okay. Heel Cinnamon. We got a lot of great. See now. I see. Hey, British Raven Nick. See ya.
Woo!
It's not exactly what I was trying to go, but it got not what I meant here. Heel Cinnamon.
Oh, hot in here.
It did.
Oh, tight. Oh.
Yeah. Hey,
I did not know where the next rhyme was going to be.
Yeah, well, there's a few also. The pug's name's Doug. Having a chug with a giant jug.
Ooh, make you go glug glug.
No, that doesn't sound right.
All right, have mine in the
gut. Didn't rhyme either.
Glug glug
with some Uggs.
There, wearing the Uggs.
Wearing some Uggs.
Yeah, I think we've covered them. I think we've covered the majority of them.
Or
not all of them.
That would be a fun little segment then, a little rhyme game. Ooh. I'm afraid to say what Cora said, because I don't know if
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm now starting to just question the chat of what they're talking about.
Now
I'm scared.
I am terrified as well. Sound as a pound. That doesn't rhyme. Okay, why don't we wrap it on up here? Because that's been our week. We have a lot still planned. We got a lot to still get ready for because we got so much content we still haven't put out for you guys. And we still have so much content that we're going to have for you guys over the next 2 weeks. But guys, at the end of the day, we appreciate each and every one of you. This has been a unbelievable start to January. And we're going to go into the last week of January in 2026 next week before we kick off our Super Bowl coverage, which you guys will not want to miss. So hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, hit that follow button. And Zach, hit that music button. Ooh. There's a rug. Hanging out with a pug named Doug. As always here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking weekend, survive the snowstorm, and if you do, come back and join us on Monday because we'll be live from 3 to 5 right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Ryan Ripken Show. Talk to you soon.